If you want to start bookbinding but don't want to spend a lot of money on expensive equipment right away, this DIY book press might be perfect for you. You absolutely do not need a real book press to start bookbinding. It's simple to make, super budget friendly, surprisingly sturdy, and you only need a few easy to get supplies. These are two book presses that I already made and use. The larger one is made from MDF and not from kitchen boards, but the principle is exactly the same. I also own this quite antique real book press, which is definitely easier and faster to use because it has only one large screw instead of 4 wing nuts like a DIY press is. And it's so pretty, I think. But honestly, for beginner bookbinding projects, a DIY wooden press like I'll show you works really well and costs only a fraction of a professional one. Hi, I'm Joanna. Welcome back to my missredfox paper art channel. It's all about bookbinding and paper crafts for beginners here. You'll need 2 wooden or bamboo kitchen boards, 4 long bolts, 4 washers, 4 wing nuts, and 4 regular nuts. As tools, you'll need a pencil and eventually a ruler, clamps, a drill or a cordless screwdriver with a wood drill bit, 1 or 2 spare pieces of wood to drill onto, some sanding paper, and something to elevate the boards while drilling if you want to use a workbench. I'm using here a miter box turned upside down for that. The size of the boards doesn't really matter. These ones are okay for smaller and medium-sized books. They have a groove running all around the top surface near the edges, and I'll use the corners of those as guides for the drill holes. But of course you can use plain boards too. One thing you should know if you use kitchen boards like these is that they are often treated with oil. Because of that, I'd recommend placing some clean paper, parchment paper or a plastic sheet between the boards and your book covers while pressing. Another option would be sanding the surfaces well before using them, but I personally won't do that in this video. Now sleeves up, let's build the press. Stack the 2 boards neatly on top of each other and align them carefully. Then clamp them together so they can't move while drilling. Since I want the holes in both boards to line up perfectly, drilling through both boards at once is the easiest method. Before drilling, I'm also marking the corners with the letters A, B, C and D on both boards. That way, if I ever take the press apart later, I'll always know which corners belong together again. To drill safely without a workbench, I'm elevating the boards on an upside down miter box so I don't accidentally drill into my table. Underneath the boards, I'm also placing 1 or 2 spare pieces of wood wherever I drill. This helps prevent the lower board from splintering. The holes shouldn't be too close to the edges. Try to keep the drill as straight as possible, but it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Once all 4 holes are finished, remove the clamps and separate the boards again, then sand down any potential splinters. By the way, I'm using size 6 bolts but a size 7 wood drill bit. In my experience, it's quite difficult to drill perfectly straight holes by hand, especially through 2 boards at once. Slightly larger holes make assembly much easier later because the bolts can glide through smoothly instead of getting stuck when the holes are a little misaligned. And honestly, slightly imperfect holes are completely fine for a project like this. Clean your table, then start the assembly. Insert the bolts into one board from underneath. Then screw the normal nuts onto the bolts and tighten them. These nuts will stay there permanently and hold the bolts securely in place. Next, place the second board on top. And now it finally starts looking like a proper little book press. Because my boards have these grooves around the edges, I'm also using washers before adding the wing nuts. Otherwise, the wing nuts could sink too deeply into the grooves. If you use completely flat boards, you may not even need washers at all. Finally, screw on the wing nuts. One downside compared to a traditional cast iron book press is that you have to tighten 4 corners separately instead of turning just one screw, so opening and closing the press takes a little longer. But for beginner bookbinding projects, this works surprisingly well and gives you uneven pressure. To use the press, simply place your book, signatures or book covers between the boards and tighten the wing nuts evenly on all 4 corners. I really like projects like this because they show that you absolutely do not need expensive equipment to start bookbinding. Simple tools and affordable materials are completely enough to begin making handmade books. I hope this gives you another helpful and affordable option to start bookbinding at home. If you want an even simpler version without drilling, you can also watch my brick book press video. I'll link it in the description below. And if you are completely new to bookbinding, I have more beginner tutorials on the channel, so feel free to explore and subscribe. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'll answer them as fast as I can. Thank you so much for watching and happy crafting!